Hello there. I'm going to ask you to bear with me today. Got my little microphone on. I've got my selfie stick going, and I don't know if the knobs are turned properly. This is quite an ordeal for such a shitty production, let me tell you. But I'm here in Louisiana. First time visiting Louisiana. I'm at a lovely little state park, Bissonnette Lake State Park. I think I'm saying that properly. I'm not finished. We decided to stay for 3 days. We're getting a little road weary, so it's nice to have a place to call home for 3 nights. And we had been kind of striking out a lot. We'd been staying in quite a few parking lots and truck stops and things of that nature, and that's great, but it gets old after a while. You want to do something else and be able to stretch out and make a mess and feel at home for a while. So that's what we're doing. What I wanted to talk about this time, since I am at a campground with a lot of RVs, is why van? Why a van over an RV? It comes up in my channel. That question comes up as much as any other question, which is zero. No one's ever asked a question yet on my channel. If you ask a question, you'll be the first. I'll give my take on why choosing a van over an RV. And I don't want to throw any shade on RVs. I think RVs are great. It just depends on what you're after. I did think about getting an RV, specifically a travel trailer. I have reasons why I would prefer a travel trailer instead of a motor coach. Since I'm in the campground, surrounded mostly by RVs. In fact, I didn't see any other tent campers. But I will talk about why I chose to be in a van rather than an RV. And my experience in this is quite limited. I've never owned an RV, but I did work for a short time. I worked at an RV resort. Shout out to Lake George Escape RV Resort. And that did give me some insight into what it was like for the folks that are traveling in RVs. But when you see all the effort that goes into converting a van, and you realize that they're Class B RVs that are all set, ready to go, built on the van chassis, why wouldn't you just go seek out a Class B? And I'm not disagreeing. That's very logical. There's a lot of good reasons why you would choose a Class B instead of a van. You can still fit in the same parking spaces. It's just as easy to get in and out of gas stations or restaurant parking lots or anything else. So I totally understand that. But there are some good reasons why you would still want to choose a cargo van and do a conversion. Or even like me, I'll do a minimal, like no build situation. First, let's talk about cost. One eye-opening experience is to look into those RVs that are Class B RVs, and they are the same length as the cargo van. They're built on cargo van chassis, built on a cargo van platform, whether it's a ProMaster platform or a Sprinter platform. They can be $100,000, no problem. Even a used one can be extraordinarily expensive. I won't tell you how much I paid for my cargo van. It was 2 years old at the time. It had 50,000 miles on it, and it had been a delivery vehicle, so I'm sure it was put through the ringer. But compared to what I see people paying for Class Bs, it was a fraction of what you would pay. And to build it out, I spent, I didn't spend much at all, as you can see. Being able to find a deal and to get your traveling life started is one reason why you would choose a van instead of a Class B. This episode's stamp of approval goes to the The big beautiful blanket. Last night it got down below freezing, just barely, here in Louisiana in February, mid-February. I don't think it's supposed to do that, but as I was lying in bed trying to stay warm, looking at the van life subreddit, reading about other people trying to keep warm, I thought that this week's stamp tramp of approval should go to my big beautiful blanket. Now, of course, you have your bedding, and I've talked about that before. But what you really also need in addition to that is a huge, big, beautiful blanket, like king size, California king size, double thick, something that when you walk into the laundromat, the attendant runs up and yells at you saying that you can't put that in the machines. That's really what you want. And once you have your regular bedding in order, you throw that over the whole deal, right? And you climb under there, and you can tie it up to something or clip it if you want to make some room for your space. You're basically making like a bivouac. And inside under there, you can bring your laptop and your cooler and some scented candles, aromatherapy. No, you probably shouldn't do that. But you cover this whole thing with the biggest, thickest blanket you can find. And throw your dog under there, of course. Even though we talked about the size of a Class B being essentially the same, I will talk about the convenience of having a small rig. I thought about getting a pickup truck and a used travel trailer. If I was going to go the RV route, that's what I would do. Although the sacrifice for me would be, I do like to be able to go straight to the driver's seat and pull away. I consider that a safety feature. Also, if you're parking somewhere and you're doing stealth mode, it's pretty hard to be stealthy if you're getting out of your RV and go walking around and getting up. Anyway, I'm able to drive through any city, no problem on this trip. I've done the van life thing in Los Angeles and Philadelphia and Tucson and Dallas, all over the place. And because I have such a short rig, and it's not too wide, it's a little wider than the Sprinter, but because I have, it's the size of a big pickup truck. It's the size of a large passenger vehicle. And that means that I can go in and out, I can turn around. Short length means that my clearance is better. If you have something really long, you're going to bottom out if you're going through the backcountry. Having that compact size for me is the only way to go. My point is, being small, nimble, and stealthy is key to my repertoire. It makes my vehicle versatile. Fuel economy. So I've been getting basically 20 miles to the gallon. And if I had a fully built out Class B with that same engine, that same ProMaster platform, that's the 3.6 liter Pentastar engine, you're not going to get 20 miles a gallon. It's going to get chipped away. So the more water tanks and black tanks and gray tanks and everything, building out all the interior, it all comes with weight. Now this is something that you do not have to complain about when you're in van life. The dump station. Whether you are having full hookups and dealing with your own tubing, or whether you're going to dump stations like this one, it's not a good time. Uh-oh, we got a problem. Our trail has turned into a bayou. You know why they call it a bayou? Because when your trail looks like that, you say, bayou. I'm here at the campground. Now that's where having a van suits the other side of the equation. I get basically all the benefits of having an RV. I opened up, I spread out all my stuff. However, I was able to purchase just a tent site. I'm not really using the hookups, although I did use the water. But by not using the hookups, I can pay, here I'm paying with tax and everything about 20 bucks a night. And I have a nice big flat space. I took all the stuff out of my car. I cleaned it. I did laundry this morning. I have all the advantages of being an RV when I'm here, but I also have all the advantages of being a tent camper. I do set up a tent just so I'm technically following the rules, and I have a place to put my stuff out of the rain if I don't want to put it back inside the van. But the point is that when I want to act like a regular vehicle, I can, and when I want to act like an RV, I can. I get the best of both worlds. One more thing I'll talk about, which comes mostly from my experience working at the RV resort, is build quality. I heard so many nightmare stories about people buying these amazing deluxe spectacular rigs and then they're just junk. Like as soon as they drive off the lot, they depreciate, lose half their value, and stuff starts breaking and leaking. For a similar reason, people like to buy closed utility trailers and convert them into travel trailers rather than buying a pre-made travel trailer, because they know it's not going to leak and they have control of the build quality, right? Whether you're converting a horse trailer or a trailer that's intended for ATVs, you can just start with a solid metal shell and say, all right, I know what's going into it. I don't have to worry about build quality, and I don't have to worry about anything that I don't understand, something that I can't fix or can't replace or can't find. You do it yourself and you eliminate all those problems. But I have nothing to break. I don't have to worry about moisture problems, particle board falling apart, or weird hinges that I can never replace or find. I don't have to worry about any of that. My heart goes out to them. You know, they plan their retirement or the trip of a lifetime and thing starts falling apart. Dealership basically ghosts them, tells them, drop it off in 9 months. We'll hope to have it back to you. Can't get someone to come pull it away. It's just a crapshoot. So those are my reasons. That's why I chose to get a van instead of a travel trailer. The price was right. I have full control. I love the stealth mode and the versatility. When I want to be like a vehicle, I'm like a vehicle. When I want to be like a camper, I'm like a camper. So to me, it's been a no-brainer, and I don't have any regrets. I've been very pleased with the van. Definitely have some ideas of what I can improve, but it was the right choice for me, and maybe it's the right choice for you too.
Here's a good example of when it's nice to be in a car rather than an RV. I'm at a rest area. It's about 6:45 at night, and that's the truck and RV side. And as you can see, the truck and RV side and trucks with trailers is basically almost full. A few more spots and it's going to be full. On the other hand, here I am on the car side, and even though the car side is closer to the highway, I think it's going to be a lot quieter for me and Cosmo in the van than if we were over next to those trucks all night. And the car side's got tons of parking all the way down. I usually park, here's a pro tip, I usually park as soon as I come into the rest area. Park right away and then get out and walk the dog and check everything out. And if I see there's a spot that appeals to me, I can always move farther down. But if you park at the end, it's too late to come back.
Just a dog and a man and a big white van and a 2-foot ceramic garden gnome. They're driving around any city or town. Everywhere's a temporary home. He's got a bed and a fridge and a toilet in there, a toolbox and dishes and clean underwear. Just a dog and a man and a big white van and a 2-foot 2-foot ceramic garden gnome. They're driving around any city or town. Everywhere's a temporary home. From the east to the west coast and points in between, he's traveling to places he has never seen. Just a dog and a man and a big white van and a 2-foot ceramic garden gnome. They're driving around any city or town. Everywhere's a temporary home. Intrepid Mike, the explorer, with his co-pilot named Cosmo, they crossed this beautiful land of ours in a van they call the White Shadow. Just a dog and a man in a big white van.